What's going on YouTube? It's your boy DMD and I'm coming at you guys today with my Monarch Deck Profile for October of 2017. I know it has been a couple months. I believe it was July that I did my other Domain Monarch Deck Profile, and I've changed around the build a little bit to make it a little bit more consistent. There was some problems with kind of bricky hands, and I just wanted to kind of change the deck up and see if I could make it any more consistent. And for the most part I did. I made some changes to the deck that I feel really helped give it some draw power and put in some cards that had a little bit more synergy with the deck. So guys, I feel like this is a much better build than I was running previously. So guys, without further ado, let's get on into the Domain Monarch Deck Profile for October of 2017. Also, you guys, shout out to the Deck Box. The Deck Box is a local store, and basically it is pretty much a really fun place to go if you are in the Asheville, North Carolina area. So guys, if you would like to go to the Deck Box, I will put a link to their website and their Facebook page down in the description below, so you guys can check them out as well. Alright guys, to start off the deck, we are playing the only one Ether, the Heavenly Monarch. The only one we're actually allowed to play. Basically, Ether is really good because she allows you to dump 2 Monarch spell or traps to your grave and special summon out a monster with 2800 or 2400 attack and 1000 defense directly from your deck. This is typically going to be Kuraz because you can pop stuff and draw cards, which makes Ether one of the best draw sources for your deck. During either player's turn, you can banish a Monarch spell or trap from your grave in order to tribute summon her. So she's really good. She helps you plus a lot. Great card. She's at 1 for a reason. Then we are playing probably the best card in the deck now that Ether is limited. We are playing triple Erebus, the Underworld Monarch. Basically, you send 2 Monarch spell or traps to the graveyard when he's tribute summoned, and you can shuffle 1 card your opponent controls back into the deck. Note, that does not target, and that is also not once per turn. So it's a really, really broken card. Also, you can pitch a Monarch spell or trap to add 1 monster with 2400 attack or 2800 attack and 1000 defense back from your graveyard into your hand. So you can basically dump him off Foolish Burial to unclog your hand. Then we are running double Kuraz. I see a lot of people running 3, but most of the time I'm summoning Kuraz off of Ether, and I don't really like seeing Kuraz more than when I'm summoning him off Ether. So I don't really want to see that many of him. I tried him at 3, but he's just a little bit too much, in my opinion. Alright guys, off to the supporting engine. We are running 3 Vanity's Fiend. A Vanity's Fiend plus March equals pretty much GG. So if you can manage to put a board up of Vanity's Fiend and a March, you pretty much got that game on lock. So yeah, 3 Vanity's Fiend. Then this is what I'm playing now that I wasn't playing before. Double Majesty's Fiend. Basically he's searchable off return, so he's pretty much a searchable floodgate. So I really like running 2 of him. I'm not really sure if I would ever run him at 3. I might cut him down to 1. He's really good, but he can also slow you down as well. So I'm not really sure I like running multiples of him. Alright, so on to our supporting engine. We run triple Adea. Basically, Adea is broke. When she's normal or special summon, you can special 1 monster from your deck that has 800 attack and 1000 defense, and you can, when she's sent to the graveyard, target 1 banished Monarch spell or trap and add it back to your hand. So she recycles your Pantheism, which is very important. And then I tried to bump this card down to 2, but it just was not working for me. You gotta play 3. It's my main man, Eidos. Eidos basically gives you another tribute summon. You can banish him from the grave to special back out your Adea, and then Adea will trigger summoning another Eidos from deck. I tried to cut him down to 2, and it just was not working for me. So I bumped him up back to 3. He's really good. If you see too many of him, you can just dump him with Allure of Darkness. And then finally, we are running 1 Mithra. I like Mithra. Some people don't like her, but if you do see her in your hand, basically what you can do is special summon her to the field, and it gives your opponent a token. Now, while links kind of make that a bad thing, basically what you can do, if you tribute summon off of Mithra, you can get an additional tribute summon that turn. So if you have like an Erebus in your hand, you can tribute summon for the Erebus, and then tribute summon again if you search off return. So really good card. Now guys, we are moving on to the spells. First of all, we have the reason you even play the deck in the first place. We've got triple domain. Domain of the True Monarchs is a broken field spell. When you control a tribute summon monster, neither player can special summon from the extra deck. Obviously, you run no extra deck, so this doesn't hurt you at all. It ends up screwing your opponent big time. It makes your big monarch smaller and easier to tribute for, and locks your opponent out of the extra deck. It's really, really good. Then we play the Searcher. Triple Tenacity. Triple Tenacity is a must-of because it searches all of your important cards. Typically what you're going to be searching for first is this amazing card, Pantheism. Pantheism is at 1 for a reason. I wish it would come back to 2 because it would give this deck a little bit more consistency, the consistency that it probably really needs. Pantheism, you ditch a Monarch spell or trap. Typically you want this to be prime and then you draw 2. You can banish it from your graveyard the same turn and reveal 3 Monarch spell or traps. Your opponent adds 1 to your hand. So you can reveal Triple Domain if you want. You can reveal a March and a Stormforth and whatever you want, really. Busted card. If you open with this and maybe a prime, probably 90% of the time you will win if you open with Pantheism. Next, we are running Double Return. A lot of people might be triggered that I'm not running more than 2 return, but I just find 3 return a little bit bricky. I don't really like it, but it does give you a +1 every time you tribute summon, so I cannot be too mad. Also, because of how the chain link works, say you tribute summon for an Erebus. So when you tribute summon for the Erebus, the effect will trigger. Thanks to Konami's new ruling about chain links, you can make return chain link 2 and your monster's effect, say Erebus, chainlink 1. So basically Erebus's effect becomes unstrikable because the counter trap will be chainlink 3, say Strike or something, will be chainlink 3, and it will miss the timing of the Erebus because Erebus will be chainlink 1. So it cannot properly respond to Erebus. So it's a really good card. Then we run the 1 Stormforth. Stormforth with an escalation set is probably the nastiest play that I've ever seen in my entire life. It's disgusting. Basically, you win with this card. It's your out to everything. It's your out to pretty much every problematic monster. So yeah, 1 Stormforth. It's at 1 for a reason. We got the Double March again, as usual. Some people only run this at 1, some people don't run this at all, but I find it really good, especially if you have a Vanities Fiend on board. If you have this and Vanities, your opponent, unless they like top deck a Twin Twisters or a Cosmic Cyclone, they can't really out that board. It's a really good card to run. The 1 Frost Blast. I like this as dump fodder just because you're sending so many Monarch spell or traps to the grave off of Erebus and Ether. So I like the 1 Frost Blast as just dump fodder. It's a really good card. Alright, so on to the non-Monarch spell or traps. So I run the 1 Trade-In. I like Trade-In because you're running quite a few level 8s, and you can just pitch 1, especially like Erebus, to the grave and draw 2, and you can always get Erebus back like by pitching a prime or something. So I like the 1 Trade-In, and I am running the 2 Allures because most of the stuff you play in your deck is dark. We have the 1 Rhoda to search out our Idea. Then we have probably the most broken card in the deck. We have 1 for 1. Basically, if you open up 1 for 1, what you're guaranteeing is that you're going to have 2 tribute summons turn 1. Because you'll send a Monarch or something to the grave, special your Idea, and then special Eidos from deck. Since you have not normal summoned the Idea, you have 2 normal summons that turn. Then we got the 1 Foolish to dump the Erebus, and the Idea to get our Monarch spell or trap back. Erebus unclogged, so we need that in the grave too. And 1 Foolish Burial Goods. I was running this at 2, but I decided to cut it down because it was just getting a little bit too cloggy, so I'm only running the 1 now. On to the traps. So first of all, we are playing the Double Prime Monarch. Basically, Prime is to help us recycle our resources and to stop us from getting OTK'd. So Prime is a very, very solid card. 3 is a little bit bricky. I don't like 3. I side deck 1. I don't really main the other one. And finally, we are playing 1 Escalation. This is the last new addition to this deck. I was not running this before, and I was an idiot for not, because this basically means that you can Erebus your opponent on their turn, and that is so broke. As a one-of, it's a really, really strong card. Basically, tributing during your opponent's turn, tributing for a Vanities or Majesty's Fiend, can just stop their play completely. So you've got to play at least 1. Alright YouTube, so that is my Domain Monarch Deck Profile for October of 2017. Let me know what you guys think about this deck profile in the comment section below. Anyway guys, let me know what you think about this deck profile in the comment section below. This is a very solid deck. If you are a beginner, this is probably one of the best decks you can pick up other than like ABCs, just because it's really easy to learn. It's a very old school style deck. If you used to play the game back in like 2003, 2004, that era, this is probably going to be a more of your style deck. It does brick, but not nearly as much as it used to. With Allure of Darkness and the one trade-in, I've realized that this deck is actually much more consistent than it used to be. Anyway guys, let me know what you think about my updated Domain Monarch deck profile in the comments section below, and be sure, if you have not already, to subscribe for more awesome Yu-Gi-Oh content. It's that DMD, and your boy is gone. Peace.